Hey everyone, Miles J here, and in case you haven't heard, police are murdering unarmed black people and not really getting any kind of punishment for it. Specifically, Mike Brown, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, and Aiyana Stanley Jones. All of them were unarmed. Darren Wilson shot teenager Mike Brown at least 6 times, resulting in his death, and also received about $500,000 in donations for his trouble. He was not indicted November 24th, 2014. Daniel Pantaleo killed Eric Garner by putting him in an illegal chokehold. On December 3rd, 2014, he was not indicted. The video of his death is literally floating around on the internet, and yet still nothing was done. Timothy A. Loman shot 12-year-old Tamir Rice immediately as soon as he got out of his police car on November 22nd. Investigators say Tamir was reaching into his waistband for a weapon, which turns out to be a toy BB gun. Results will be presented to a grand jury for possible charges. Which, if any of these other cases are going, it probably won't have any charges at all. And Joseph Weekley shot and killed Aiyana Stanley Jones while she was sleeping on her couch during a drug raid in 2010. His charges were dismissed this past October. Aiyana was just 7 years old. In response to all of this, protesters have flooded the streets across America in light of the inaction and systematic racism in these cases. Of course, a lot of uneducated, privileged white people are coming out of the woodwork too, along with some people of color talking about, why is it just hashtag Black Lives Matter? Hashtag all lives matter. Don't all of our lives matter? Of course all lives matter, but right now all lives aren't being targeted and shot by the police. Let me read y'all this quote. When you try and turn hashtag Black Lives Matter into all lives matter, what you're saying is, I don't feel included. You're saying, I don't feel a part of the conversation. Here's the thing though, white people aren't a part of the movement because the movement is about the oppression involved in institutional racism. And that's something white people have never experienced. Plain and simple. It isn't including you because it isn't about you.
Dude, shut up about Ferguson.
Whenever someone is getting irritated about you talking about some injustice, something that isn't right in the world, such as Ferguson, that's oppression. They're telling you to stop talking about this thing that is obviously a problem and they don't want to hear about it. That is oppression and a mixture of their privilege being able to ignore a situation that we can't ignore. So, to that person, you can just say, bye-bye.
Stop making this about race.
Stop killing unarmed black people. Darren Wilson was just protecting himself. Let me tell you something. Out of all the witnesses that were interviewed on TV, none of them ever said Mike Brown ran away and then ran back and charged at Darren Wilson. Like, none of them. At all. I don't know, man. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay, but he stole cigars from that one store. He was a thug.
This child never stole anything from that store. At all. The person who owned the convenience store said never was anything stolen. Darren Wilson, his damn self, said he didn't even know that Mike Brown had supposedly stolen something from that store in the first place. So that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. He didn't steal nothing either. So that's like double irrelevant. That's completely not an excuse. You can't use that anymore. Stop. And let alone what you're saying right now is that he deserved to be shot because he stole like a cigar from a convenience store is really, appalling. So, what would you say to like a bunch of people who, I don't know, like supposedly enslaved an entire race and killed and massacred like an entire like nation of people? Like, what would you say the punishment for them should be?
You guys are just destroying your own city. Stop the riots. You guys are just living up to your own stereotype.
And I'm guessing that the stereotype is probably that we're angry and that we're violent and that we're what, like savages? Well, guess what? We are angry. right now. We're very, very, very upset. People in Ferguson are very, very, very upset. People across America are very, very, very upset. So yes, people are gonna go out into the street and protest and chant and yell and scream and stuff. And there are gonna be some people out there that are going to try and take advantage of other people's emotions and use that to stir up a riot. And once again, stop shooting unarmed black people. And if a black person who is unarmed and innocent is shot, the police officer who shot him should be indicted and some kind of punishment should take place.
Okay, but Martin Luther King once said,
Don't you dare quote Martin Luther King to me or ask me what would Martin Luther King do, because Martin Luther King peacefully protested and white people shot him too. What about that one time that one white kid got shot by that one black cop? Nobody said anything then.
yeah, what she said.
Where the fuck were you? Why didn't you say anything? Is it just a coincidence that you just brought up this receipt because a black person got shot by a white cop and you want to flip it around and make it about you? An acquaintance from high school brought this article to my attention and started commenting about how nobody paid attention when the white person got shot by the black cop. People in the comment section saying, because the kid was white. My acquaintance was saying, who's the minority now? I literally wrote a paragraph just of how that idea that my acquaintance had was wrong. The response I got was, the people protesting for Mike Brown are still playing the victims. BTW, I guess I could be considered a minority since I am not white.
And plus, I'm not even white.
Wait, you're not white?
No, I'm not.
Oh, well he's not white, so he's the representative of the entire race, whatever race he is. And that means that I'm right and you guys are wrong. The officer was protecting himself, so just because it just so happens that it was a white cop that shot a black kid, in quotes, Mike Brown was very much a kid. He was only 18 years old, and although that is like a legal adult, that's still young. Everyone wants to get riled up and play the victim. I'd shoot you too if you reach for my weapon. Sorry, not sorry. This bitch literally said she would shoot me. Do not be one of these people. If you are white, if you're a person of color, doesn't matter. Don't be that person. Because believe me, you are wrong if you decide to be that person. If you don't know and you're just watching this video, you're wrong. And there are some links down below that can help educate you. And the final thing I would like to say about this is, if you're following the Ferguson protests, any kind of protest whatsoever regarding this particular series of unfortunate events, please, please, please check your sources. Please stop spreading misinformation, because it makes researching this that much more difficult, and it also makes you not credible as a source as well. So make sure you remember that and check your sources when you're scrolling through Tumblr and all those other social media sites before you click reblog or share. Okay? Alright, and that's all I have for you guys today. So let me know down below what you think about all of these cases and the protests that have been going on. And if you're planning on going to a protest yourself. So that's it for me, Miles J. I will talk to you guys all later. Bye.